Welcome back to the Weekend Warrior Show Recap Podcast. I'm Tyler from the Unemployed Architects. This week's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about kind of like a year in review. I'm going to be talking about a lot of the cool stuff we did last year. And then I'm going to be talking about, maybe some goals and stuff for, this upcoming year. So last year, it looks like I started at Clark Bar. That was like the first couple times I played there. This coming year, it's be graduated into a monthly show, which is good. But we've had our ups and downs over there, but it's always a good crowd. Did some Kilkenny shows, it looks like. Those were kind of new for me at the point. I started this podcast around that time as well, so a little bit of a new experience on that front. I've been doing it pretty consistently, which is cool because I wasn't sure it'd be something I'd really stick to, but it turns out kind of enjoy it. So, and it just helps me kind of categorize, because you do so many shows in a year, they start to all meld together a little bit. So this kind of helps me, take note, I guess, of each individual show. I remember like little parts a little bit better. So Kilkenny show, played at the Trading Post down in Springfield. Around this time we went down to New Orleans. I never say it right, I'm sure. I don't say a lot of things right. But anyway, and that was a really cool experience. So definitely changed what I thought about a lot of things. I think little things, but gave me a new perspective, which is always good, I think. Had some PK show. It looks like we did our Weft session down in Champaign at the end of January, and that was we got a video out of that, which was good. McKay's show, played at Houdini's plenty. PK's again. We did a full band show in March at the beginning, which was like the first full band show we had done in forever for a fundraiser, and that was really fun and cool. I played at Inside Out in Gilman, and that was a different experience. Did our first show at the Night Shop with, I believe that was with, what's that band? They were Fine Lines, and they were out of Nashville. And then Long Ladder Home also opened with us as well. They did a little set. So that was cool. It was the first time I'd ever played there, and I'd been wanting to get in there for a long time. So it was nice to break the ice, I guess. Another Kilkenny's weekend. The Trading Post again. I played at Smith's in Flanagan, which we haven't done that in a long time. I don't think they really are doing live music so much anymore. The end of March, we did a show up in Chicago, which we don't really play at the Houndstooth Saloon, which that was, it was an interesting experience. Wasn't my favorite show, but it turned out to be all right. Played at Houdini's. We've been consistent through the whole year, which is awesome that Dawn, keeps rebooking us. It's not the best paying show necessarily, but it's good people, and she's, reliable. We had the Clayton's Ordeal, which that was where they really liked us, and then they didn't, and then they did, and then they didn't, and then they canceled a bunch of shows, and then we'll probably never play there again. But you'll have that. I played at the Night Shop again at the end of March. That was with Eric Paul and Miss Christine, and that was the first time we played with them. We actually played with them again later, which was a lot of fun. I played at a little bar up north called Eddie's, because I can't say the last, Eddie Gaiadel's, and that was a really weird show. I remember that one. It was very small. They weren't ready to have a band. We brought too much gear. It was the first time we played there. McKay's, PK's, all pretty straightforward. We had Davenport. I remember in April I played in Davenport, and I played the Friday night. Drove all the way home to play at the Run for Respect in Pontiac the morning, and then back to Iowa to play that night. So I brought two different sound setups as well. Had a Joe's Pub show, it looks like. Played at Pub 13. That's usually a fun one. In May. Houdini's, Cadillac Jacks. And I did a double show that day. It looks like Farmer's Market, Cadillac Jacks, all in one day. Braze, which we played there quite a bit over the summer, and that's a fun place to play outside in their little courtyard. Court Street Pub for the first time. Another Clark Bar and McKay's. I had a Kankakee Farmers Market, and then PK's in Pontiac, so that was a double show day. And we did the next weekend in June. We had 3 shows down in Champaign Friday and 2 on Saturday. Played at Poor Brothers there outside, which that was like probably one of the most epic shows of the summer for us. We played full band at the Legends Golf Course the night before, and then I had a morning, or I guess it wasn't morning, it was afternoon show at like a house party in Champaign, and then we played at Poor Brothers to kind of cap off the weekend, and that was a lot of fun. I remember that weekend being like, crazy. I mean, it was a lot of stuff, but we made it work, and I think we played really well at the Poor Brothers show, and we actually got put on a magazine cover from that show, which was really cool. Played at Kemp's and had the summer shindig in Pontiac all in one day, it looks like. And yeah, so that was like 2:30 to 4:30 at the summer shindig, and then we hightailed it to Kemp's. I think we ended up and had to play inside for the Kemp show, which was a little weird, but we opened for the Hurricane Reggae Band in mid-June on a Thursday. Had a Gill Street show and the Make Music Normal Festival. Those Make Music Normal, I feel like we played really well at, and turned some heads. But there were a lot of great artists at that, so I don't know if we really took a lot away, but I think we sounded really good. Another Clark Bar show. Played at the Windjammer, which those are usually summer shows for us. Another Braze, another PK's. Played at Reality Bites, which that was a weird show. It was like 2 hours, and then the guy at the end of the night was trying to pay me less, which is never good. The next week we played at Kicks in Towanda, which usually do that like once a summer. And the first time I played at Star Union Spirits, which was pretty big. And we played at the Brown Jug in Chenoa. So a lot of shows that weekend. That's the mid-July, places we hadn't been playing, so that was good. Roundabout show, Relay for Life, Clark Bar. Again, been recording, it looks like, at this point. Played at Oliver's North, which that's usually a pretty fun show because it's outside and you watch the sunset. And then we had our Colorado tour, which was just completely nuts. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shows, and then capped off with us watching Nathaniel Ratliff and the Night Sweats at Red Rocks, which turned out to be really crazy, rainy and stormy and cold. And they started like way later than it had originally been planned for, and we didn't sleep at all, and it was just like a crazy thing. So we played at Greg's Keg in Lincoln, Nebraska that Thursday, Laughing Goat in Boulder Friday, Squeaky Bees up in Grand Lake, which was way in the boonies, kind of very cool place. And it was like raining that day, but the weather in Colorado just changes on the drop of a dime. And then that Sunday we played at Odell Brewing Company, and we capped it off when we played at Little Bear Saloon in Evergreen. Got back and went directly to play at Kemp's that Saturday. And then we played at Houdini's and Braze again. Looks like we did another Windjammer show. We played at the Chicago Highlands Country Club, which ended up was a pretty weird show. I just remember like not getting good vibes from people, but it might have just been me. I don't really know. I remember thinking that maybe I was projecting a little bit. Joe's Pub played at Inside Out in Gilman again, but that one, and this is September, but that one ended up was a flop for sure. I felt bad about that one. Not like 4 people showed up. Maybe 6 people were there, but four people came directly for me, but still wasn't necessarily ideal. They had like a big band the night before, so I don't know. And then Tabapalooza, which that was a fun one. We played Dave, Lo, and I, and it was on a nice stage, and we were like the last band. And Court Street Pub again, Clark Bar again, Danvers, which that was a place I used to play at a lot, and they hired us to do like a party at the Danvers Y Tap. That was a fun one. We had a farmer's market in Kankakee in the morning, and that was mid-October. Played at the Night Shop again, and that was a good podcast episode too, because I had Eric Paul, Miss Christine, and then the talent show band. They all stayed at my place after, and we did a podcast, which was fun. Marshall's Tap in Bartonville, another Kilkenny's. We are in November. So I had Pub 13 again, which that show ended up and was really cool. A lot of hometown, crowd, and it was fun. ATK Music Festival, that was a weird like ISU like student put on festival. Wasn't promoted very good, but it was kind of cool. It was a lot of visual art type stuff. And then we played in Champaign that night at Poor Brothers again, but it was indoor, and the sound was like really hard it was like so loud in there. Another Cadillac Jack show. Played Alto Vineyards on a Sunday that weekend as well, and that was a pretty good show. I just played solo acoustic. McKay's, played at Sammer's 2 at mid-November, which was a new location to a place I used to play at called, it used to be called Sammer's 2, and then they changed it to Jay's Place. So, another Kilkenny's, played at Star Union Spirit at the end of, and Clark Bar at the end of November. Houdini's, I did a Christmas show December 7th, another Kilkenny's, did another Christmas show, and Trading Post, played full band at the Eagle Theater, which I haven't released the podcast where I talk about that yet, so I'm going to be talking about that. And then Dr. McKay's the 27th, and then we ended the year at Joe's Pub for New Year's Eve. So that was the year. Lots of shows, I think I released maybe 3 songs. I think I did When You're Gone, Heightened Senses, and The Riot Red. So, I got some stuff accomplished, made some music videos. Like I was saying earlier, I started this podcast, which that's a new thing. And, I'm trying to be more regular with it and get comfortable. I'm just trying to figure out the process, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like when to record it, when to release it, how to release it. So it's been an experiment this whole time. But as far as like my goals, I'm for 2020, I definitely would like to play more music festivals. Now we just had a show at the Castle, and I think we played really well, and it was a good crowd to maybe get into the festivals a little bit. So I'm hoping that translates. Always one of my goals is to record as much as possible. And we're supposed to finish one recording this, like the last week of 2019, but we weren't able to. So the end of January, hopefully we will be done with The Wheel, which is one I've been working on at the studio. And then we have the one I've been working on with Jeff in his home studio called Montauk. And then I started a new one that I'm doing, which is called the Trilogy Song. So a lot of that stuff's coming to a close. So I'm hoping, I've been saying this forever, but I'm hoping to get all that stuff done and start some new stuff. I would like to, if at all possible, maybe streamline and kind of finish the album that I've been working on for 5 years at this point. That would be great if I could get it all the way done. And I have some ideas for some new albums that I want to start in kind of different directions. So I've been thinking, and I have some of these songs written, but I haven't recorded them yet. So kind of thinking on how to record some of them. I've come up with some different ideas as far as, I think I just want to do some EPs, like 6-track kind of things, and I would like to do maybe 3, maybe 4. I don't know. I know that's too much probably to do 4, but that's only, if I'm doing 6 songs per, that's only 24 songs, and I've already got a bunch written, so it's kind of just deciphering how I want to organize them. But I always like doing Unemployed Architects full band album if I can, but the guys kind of make it tough to make that happen. So I think what I want to do, if I can get a six tracks with those guys, that'd be amazing. And then I've been playing a lot with the 3-piece version, which is me, Lo, and Dave, and I think that has a real unique sound to it. And I just think it'd be cool to kind of get that. So I do like one-man band. So I do foot drums, kick, and foot tambourine with tap shoe. And then, have Dave come in and accent it, and then Lo come and sing backups, and then use my bass pedal to get the bass lines. But I want it to be feel like, kind of more of a live feel to it than some of my other stuff. So I don't know if I'll record it all the way live, or if I'll tap out all the foot percussion stuff first and then play to that, and then have Dave come in and but we'll see. I mean, I think I could get it would just be it'd be different. I feel like wouldn't sound like really anything else, because it's kind of a unique setup. And then I want to do maybe just a single one-man band album, so that'd be another 6 tracks, so we're up to 18, and then the last one I would like to just do an acoustic album. So a lot of stuff, I know. All I really want to do is get the songs organized, started recording some of them, and decipher what's going to be on what. So if I could finish writing the songs, that would be good, and then just kind of organize them. So that's my plan on that. I know that that's a lot, but I would also like to do a separate podcast. So I've been thinking about this for a long time, and there's some bands that I really enjoy to listen to, and I feel like nobody really knows about them necessarily. I mean, I didn't know about them. My brothers end up and show me awesome stuff, and then I'm excited to have something new. But this last year I've just felt like there's a lot of people that don't have that older brother to show them, some new cool stuff that they might enjoy. And I mean, not everybody's aesthetic is the same as mine, so it's just going to be, what I essentially want to do is it's an extension. I want it to be an extension of this podcast. So this is the Weekend Warrior Show recap podcast. So it'd be like it'd be Weekend Warrior Show recap WWSP Artist Spotlight, and then I would just put, I would pick one band that I've been, mildly obsessed with. My first one would probably be Saint Seneca, because I'm a really big Saint Seneca fan, and just kind of go through, who they are a little bit, and give some, examples of their music, and maybe talk about some of their lyrics, why I like them so much, and just all of that pretty much, and just go through it, because I mean I'm a big music consumer as well as a creator. So, and like I said, I don't think everybody has somebody to kind of filter down music to, so, or get music filtered down. So that would be something I want to do, and if it's just one a month, I feel like that's plenty, but I would really like to make that happen. I'd like to make music videos for every upcoming release, so that's on the agenda. And then also finish my pod documentary that I've been super complacent about for a really long time. But, a year's a long time, so hopefully I'll have some free time to get that done. And I would like to get this podcast on, as many platforms as possible, because I'm starting to get more comfortable with it and just have more fun with it. So if I can get it on Apple Music, I did something today called Anchor, which puts it up on Spotify. So I've been slowly uploading those, and I could potentially make a little extra cash if people actually listen and like it, but I really doubt that'll happen. But I'll put it up there, and maybe something will come from it, maybe not, but it's not really about that. It's just about doing it, and like I said at the beginning, kind of organizing my shows and letting people know, what it's like to live life through the lens of a person who is a musician and plays every weekend and has a job and all the ups and downs and adventures I go on. And speaking of adventures, I think that's the next goal. The goals I have 3 places I would like to play this next year. I'd like to play New York City, have a show there. And all of these, I really just want to do like a 3-day weekend tour, because, we did the Colorado thing and it was a week long, and it just was with work, and it's just so much scheduling, so much organizing. And I realize that it'll end up and be the same because I'll be doing this in, a bunch of different places. But I want to do it in New York. I want to do another one, keep the same contacts I have out in Colorado, so do like a little one out there. And then we're planning on doing something in the Ozarks, because I'm either going to go just on vacation or I'm going to try to set up a couple shows to play out there. So those are just a couple, just to get to some different spots. I don't know why. I've just been really feeling New York lately. It's been kind of calling my name. So that's kind of what's on the docket for next year. I don't know. Another goal would just be to not gain any more weight, but that's everybody's goal always, I feel like. So I don't know. It's not a very original thing to try for, but if I could lose some weight, that'd be great. But as long as I can at least maintain, I feel like I wouldn't be too disappointed. But on all the things that come with that. That's exercising regularly, and that's, eating responsibly, we'll say, and, all that stuff. I would like to get better at jiu-jitsu as well. I've been rolling with a couple buddies of mine, and haven't been boxing as much, so kind of leaning into that a little bit, just because it's a little bit, you're not getting hit in the head as much, so it's probably good as I get a little bit older. Although I like to keep that stuff kind of at a baseline. Like, I like to go in once in a while and just remember what it's like to get hit and, like, move. And, I still have my punching bag and everything, so I work out a lot, work on my head movement and just my hands in general. But the jiu-jitsu stuff is a different mentality completely, and I feel like I'm kind of progressed a lot just doing it, the last couple months, because I took probably 2 years off of doing it, because the buddy that I usually roll with lived out in Colorado. So yeah, so those are pretty much the goals. That's pretty much my last year, everything I've done. And anybody who took the time to listen, I really appreciate it. And have a good rest of your week. I'll talk to you next time.